All right, welcome back. This is the second podcast for 5-Round MMA, brought to you by True Athlete Training Systems. Check out all the information and unlock your inner athlete at trueathletes.com. What's going on, Albert?
It's going good. Real quick, I just want to do a couple of shout-outs. One to our producer, Guillermo Sida, who's not here. So I'd like to apologize to everybody if the
quality in show is a little down from last week.
Yeah. And I'd also like to thank everyone that listened to the last podcast. And I also like to thank our executive producer, Anthony Sariana. Without him, this wouldn't be possible. So just a shout-out to him. And with that said, let's get on to the latest news.
Latest news. First one coming out for all you babyface assassin fans out there.
Woo woo!
Josh Barnett actually has an opponent now for the final Strikeforce card on January 12th, I believe. He's fighting newcomer Nandor Guelmino.
It doesn't matter because the baby face is putting him over.
Roared it up and everything. He's a newcomer to Strikeforce and should be babyface assassin's last fight at Strikeforce.
If he gets a UFC contract.
Yeah.
If not, we'll see him at Bellator.
Yeah. And second piece of news, I think we wouldn't be MMA fans, nor would we be men, if we didn't talk about this headline. I'm pretty sure you guys heard it by now, but Ronda Rousey actually was on the Jim Rohn show recently and said one of her pre-fight rituals is to have as much sex as possible.
I think she just opened up Pandora's box because men are going to be lining up, finding out where she's training. Because, yeah.
It makes you wonder about her nickname now, the Rowdy one.
Yeah. Matter of fact, she actually gained respect for me because before she used to kick it with the Diaz brothers.
Oh, yeah, she was. Yeah, she stuck up for me.
So I had no respect for her. After these comments, she has nothing but respect for me.
Yeah, any woman who's loose enough to talk about sex. I meant no pun intended to loose stuff, but yeah, it's kind of imagine Buick. I mean, she's a gold medal in Taekwondo.
Yeah,
she'll just toss you around, man. I don't know how many guys can handle that.
To the next.
Okay, so coming up now, we have I don't know if you remember last week, but Albert Sida had his theory about the Rory McDonald fight. But alas, everybody has another theory coming up about the undercard for the UFC on Fox 5. So you better stick around and hear that out. 5-Round MMA is brought to you by True Athlete Training Systems. Check out all the info you need at trueathletes.com. Make sure to like us on Facebook under 5-Round MMA and follow us on Twitter at 5-RoundMMA. And always check out the website, FiveRoundMMA.com. All right, we are back. Now to get on to the good one, the UFC on Fox 5 card. And before we talk about the main card, I don't know if any of you are as acute and as esteemed as Albert is, but he has found a theory out under the undercard that he might want to explain to us. So what is it, Albert?
Well, see the theory number 2. Now that Strikeforce is done with, they got to clean up house because there's a lot of fighters they need to bring over.
Yeah.
And so what I think is what you're going to see more of is going to see a lot of people match up that have 2 losses or greater to kind of clear the roster.
And this coming from the whole Dana White thing, you lose 3 in a row, you're out, correct?
Yeah. Even the 3-strike rules, yeah, except for Dan Hardy.
Yeah,
unless your name is Dan Hardy.
Yeah, or Stephen Bonner.
And on the chopping block is going to be Scott Jurgensen, John Albert, Yves Edwards, and Jeremy Stevens.
And all of them have fights on this card coming up, correct?
Yes.
UFC on Fox 5.
Scott Jurgensen's coming off of 2 losses versus John Albert, who's also coming off 2 losses. Yves Edwards is coming off 1 loss. Jeremy Stevens coming off 2 losses. Now, I'm a big fan of Scott Jurgensen, so I hope he wins that fight. But that's my theory. I think UFC wants a clean house, and you're going to see a lot of these matchups now because they need to open up the rosters for Strikeforce.
So you think they'll purposely put 0-2 guys together?
Yep. And they're way down in the preliminary card just to show you that, yeah.
Like even below the Facebook fights probably, right?
Probably, yeah.
I mean, Scott Jurgensen is a guy who usually brings it. I mean, I never won for the slouch in fights. So you think even performance-wise he will get cut even if there's like maybe a fight of the night type of performance?
Well, his name isn't Dan Hardy, so he's on the chopping block. Even though Scott Jurgensen had that badass knockout on Ken Stone, remember where he was?
Yeah,
it was on top of him on the ground and KO'd him. But yeah, his name isn't Dan Hardy, so I don't see him staying in the card.
Even with the bantamweight being in kind of influx right now, with Dominic Cruz out and kind of like that, you think it's still on chopping block?
Well, yeah, because there is some people that could drop down to bantamweight that's coming from Strikeforce.
True.
There's also a lot of Japanese guys you forget about that were in Dream coming over as well.
Oh, yeah, because we had Dream purchase recently, yes. And Eve Edwards in the lightweight division, I mean, that's probably one of the deepest divisions UFC has, so it's basically do or die.
I think that's the division they really need to clean up for when Gilbert Melendez comes. Even though I heard he's going to drop down to 145.
Really?
Yep.
Wow, I did not hear that.
That's only if, again, this is another Sida theory, only if Diaz wins the belt. If he wins the belt, Melendez drops to 145. He doesn't win the belt, Melendez stays at 155 and competes.
Interesting. You get 2-for-1 theories today, folks.
You got a 2-for-1 deal, even though it's not Black Friday.
Way to go. That's a good one. 5-Round MMA is brought to you by True Athlete Training Systems. Check out all the info you need at trueathletes.com. Make sure to like us on Facebook under 5-Round MMA and follow us on Twitter at 5-RoundMMA. And always check out the website, 5roundmma.com. So with all this drama on the undercard, do you see any fights that really stick out in your mind?
Oh, yeah. Let's start off with the first fight in the whole card. Tim Means versus Abel Trujillo.
I'm pretty sure you're saying that right.
Okay. Or around there. Tim Means is coming from a 10-fight winning streak.
Wow.
10-fight winning streak. Let me repeat that.
Is that Fedor status almost?
One more win and he'll beat Fedor.
Fedor status?
He's 18-3 overall. Abel is 9-4 with the 4-fight winning streak.
Oh, wow, okay.
And they're in the lightweight division.
Wow.
So that's going to be a fight to look out for. So people that usually just go and check it out at 7 o'clock, you might want to open up Facebook and check this fight out. It's going to be the first fight of the whole card.
Yeah, might as well. You're on Facebook anyways. Open the UFC card.
The other one is my boy. And this is a new my boy.
Another one to add to the list, everybody.
Add to the list. So if you guys are keeping track at home, that's Todd Duffy. And now we got Mike Easton. Oh, and of course, we're McDonald. So that's 3 I've announced so far.
And keep listening, folks. You'll see fighters be added to the list almost every podcast. So keep listening, guys.
Yeah, I got a lot of boys out there. Okay, Mike Easton is coming, and I'm pretty sure I'm pronouncing that wrong.
No, that sounds right.
Easton, Mike. Well, anyways, my boy Mike has an 8-fight winning streak, 13-1 overall.
Wow.
And the guy he's fighting has a 2-win streak, 17-4. Even though he does have a 2-fight winning streak, I'm pretty sure he's in there just to get beat up and pounded on by Mike.
That's on the FX card, right?
Yep, that's on the FX card,
yeah.
and it's in the bantamweight division.
Wow, okay.
So they'll put another top 3, maybe top 4 person.
Yeah, I really think the bantamweight's like wide open right now. I mean, even before Dominic Cruz went down, he was already assigned a rematch with Uriah Faber. I mean, that's the same old thing again. So it's really interesting to see these bantamweight guys come up and show that to prove that they could jump over Uriah Faber just because he has a name. So
yeah, as soon as Dominic does come back, I think it's going to get real interesting. You have probably like 3-4 fights in that division that can get very interesting.
Yeah, and just because they're not known guys doesn't mean they're not good fighters. So give me the Facebook fights and the FX cards are there for a reason, so you guys get to know these guys and just follow them more. So these guys on their own become stars. Because they all obviously have the talent, they wouldn't be in the UFC.
And those are the most exciting divisions, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, you put that thing 200 miles per hour and just let them throw it down.
Featherweight, bantamweight, flyweight, yep, all those guys. All right, coming up, we will go into the main card, and we'll also have our picks for the main card as well. So stick around. 5-Round MMA is brought to you by True Athlete Training Systems. Check out all the info you need at trueathletes.com. Make sure to like us on Facebook under 5RoundMMA and follow us on Twitter at 5RoundMMA. And always check out the website, 5roundmma.com.
Welcome back. And now we're going to talk about the main card. First off, it's going to be welterweight division, Mike Swick versus Matt Brown. Alex?
Well, obviously Mike Swick's pretty much famous for Season 1 Ultimate Fighter alumni guy who's been out for almost like 2 years now with various injuries and kind of recently got back on track with a couple wins.
I would also like to point out that you can go to 5roundmma.com and check out a good article written by Alex about not just Mike Swick, but that first class of Ultimate Fighters.
And this fight's very interesting because it's kind of Mike Swick, who's been around a veteran, against Matt Brown, who's made a pretty good impact recently. So it's kind of like, is Mike Swick still able to hang around with the tough guys, and is Matt Brown able to go to the next level in the welterweight division?
Very true. The next we have is welterweight division as well. BJ Penn versus Rory McDonald. Any thoughts on that, Alex?
Oh, well, I mean, what more can you say? It's the return of the prodigy, BJ Penn, after, I guess you call it, what, semi-retirement? Retirement? Full
This
retirement?
is what, his 5th return?
Something like that, yeah. And Rory McDonald actually
My boy, Rory McDonald.
took it upon himself to actually call out BJ Penn. I mean, is it a smart move, you think?
Well, it's the only real way to make it to the top 3. We've seen that you beat the Matt Hugheses, you beat the Shoguns, and that gives you a title shot.
Yeah, well, it seems like almost like nowadays fighters are calling out their fights as opposed to the hard, their old-fashioned way of winning. The Chael Sonnen called out his fight. Chris Weidman was calling out everybody, and Rory McDonald called out BJ Penn. This time it actually worked.
Well, the proof is in the pudding. It's been working.
But did you really want to piss off a motivated BJ Penn? Because we've seen BJ Penn unmotivated and motivated.
Look, I even saw a recent video of BJ Penn, and man, that guy was ripped. I mean, he actually has 6-pack in welterweight.
BJ Penn ripped?
Yeah, believe it or not, the guy did some sit-ups. But at the same time, I think he's done. This is Rory's time. This is Rory's time to capitalize.
So age and layoff
Yep.
have done BJ Penn, you think?
Yep.
Do you think the fight would have been close at all?
I think I want to say that's going to be a close fight, but there's no way I see it. I mean, there's no way I can get that image of BJ Penn getting tired out in every match once you take him into the deep waters and pretty much quitting on himself.
You know what, I wonder, too, because that's the third. It's not the co-main event, right? Is the co-main event?
No, it's actually the third one.
Oh, so I wonder if maybe the inside UFC brass has the same kind of fear of BJ Penn not really showing up. And that promoting that as a co-main event, because you think the return of BJ Penn would almost be the main event. Almost.
Yeah,
and it's not really a shot at Rory McDonald; he's an up and comer, but it makes you really wonder how the inside source UFC sees BJ Penn at all.
He's just a name for them, I think.
Wow, name, yeah.
Well, let's go on to the co-main event. It's a light heavyweight fight against Shogun versus Alexander Gustafsson.
I like to call him Mauricio No Shogun, because he also has his habit of no showing fights and
he got that BJ Penninitis.
Yeah, sometimes he trains, sometimes he doesn't. I was hurt this fight, I wasn't hurt this one, and this is really, I think, a last straw for Shogun. Really, I mean, it's kind of proof that these guys now are basically gatekeepers, really, now, right?
No, I think they're feeding him to the lions. Alexander Gustafsson is another one of my boys. Put it on the list.
Let's see if we keep it track.
Alexander just became my boy. And also my pick to be John Bone Jones. Even though when he beats John Bone Jones, it's not going to matter because Chael Sonnen got that.
It'd be the John Bone Jones redemption match, right? And he was going to fall down to 0-2.
Yep.
I mean, yeah, he's the one guy that everybody seems to be picking for John Jones just because on sheer height and length alone.
Yeah.
He seems the only light heavyweight to really match up with them. But, like, knockout power, do you think he has that? Or what are the Vikings? What's the Viking, right?
Yeah, the Viking. That's his nickname.
What's his strengths and weaknesses, you think?
Well, obviously his stand-up is his strength, but it's also John Bone Jones' strength.
Yeah.
But Alexander I think he just comes and actually brings it. I mean,
like
he's not scared to get punched, and he's not scared to throw punches. I mean, in the last 2 fights, it looked like he was giving it and dishing it right back out.
Do you think that might fall into Shogun's favor, who's really much like almost a predator? If you come after him, he's seen in the past that if you go after him, he will attack.
But you're also seeing that if you do go after him, he gets tired out.
Yeah, he'll get
and
out,
Alexander has good stamina. He's shown that he can keep it up for 3 rounds. So Shogun's going to burn out, just like BJ Penn's going to burn out.
Yeah, so it all depends on what Shogun we get this fight, right? The no-show or the Shogun.
If he's coming off of knee surgery again, who knows?
The third knee surgery of 3 fights in a row. This guy has amazing recovery time, by the way.
Now let's get to the main event. It's a lightweight fight, championship fight. Benson, Smooth Henderson versus Nate Diaz.
I know he finally gets to defend his title to a true opponent, not the Frankie 2 times Edgar. But Nate Diaz, what are your thoughts about this very brash, outspoken?
I'm just hoping he goes in there and talks smack and gets a punch right in the face.
Yeah, it seems like he could. I really doubt Nate Diaz would put his showmanship, FU, flipping off, flexing in the middle of fight with this guy, Benson Henderson. Because if you take a slight second off, Benson Henderson will counter on you. And
knowing the Diaz brother and their IQ of what, -2? he's gonna flex his muscle. He's gonna talk his trash, and he's gonna end up getting kicked in the face.
I said the wrong. I do not see Benson Henderson at all being intimidated by this guy whatsoever. I really think it's a difference between two styles. Like
Benson's confidence level or his swagger, as you.
It's always been that way, no matter what. And he's a big lightweight.
Dude, I think in welterweight he looks pretty big.
Yeah, where Nate Diaz is kind of not really defined.
Oh, we've seen what happens when he moves up to welterweight.
Yeah, he can.
He gets tossed around like a dummy,
completely outmatched. But
by my boy Rory McDonald, my ad.
But yeah, I mean, this should be a good fight. Nate Diaz is really good on the ground, but I don't really see it going there because I don't think he has the ability to maybe take down smooth.
Yeah, Benson has shown his flexibility to, even if he gets taken down, giving himself the better position to stand back up. Yeah. I mean, with Jim Miller ain't no slouch in the ground. Yeah. He was able to handle that.
Well, neither is Frankie Edgar either.
That's true, wrestler.
And Nate Diaz, his snap is good, but it's nowhere near his older brother's Nick. So
nah, and plus those Stockton slaps, I don't think it's gonna affect Benson Henderson. Yeah, well, let's get into our picks now. Let's start off with you, Alex. Mike Swick versus Matt Brown. What do you got?
I'll go Mike Swick. Mike Quick Swick. Maybe quick knockout.
Well, I was kind of hoping for a double DQ on this one or double knockout. As a matter of fact, I wish this fight was one of those loser goes home because Mike Swick is past his time. Matt Brown, please. He for some reason, lightning's been striking twice. He ain't going to strike a third time, but I still hope for a double knockout, double DQ. I don't care what it is. I don't care who.
He just wants it over quick to get on the BJ Penn fight.
I just want to get to the BJ Penn fight.
Speaking of the BJ Penn fight, who do you got? BJ or Rory McDonald?
Of course, I got my boy Rory McDonald, and I know I got Rory McDonald in a thrashing.
A thrashing
of
the prodigy.
BJ Penn, yeah.
Well, I do have BJ Penn. I think a motivated BJ Penn is a very dangerous BJ Penn, and there's some guys you don't call out, and I think a pissed off Hawaiian is one of them.
If not, he'll do his 8th return to UFC.
The next one, Shogun Hua against the Viking, Alexander Gustafsson. Who do you got?
Well, of course, I got my boy, Alexander Gustafsson, the Viking. I think he has this in the second round. I think Shogun's going to bust his load in the first round, and he's going to get picked apart in the second.
Yes, finally we do agree on the fight. I agree with you 100% on Gustafsson. I think Shogun is out.
All right, let's get to the main event. Benson Henderson versus Nate Diaz. Does he retain his title?
Yes. I think I can't really see any aspect where Nate Diaz can really either counter or even be better than Benson Henderson. I think endurance, stamina, power, all-around stand-up game, and on the ground it won't really matter because he doesn't stay on the ground anyway, so I got Benson Henderson. I
agree, and everything I've been reading or hearing is saying that if it does go to decision, that Benson Henderson got it. But Nate needs to quit worrying about the judges because he ain't going to go to the judges.
Yeah, it's almost like he's already admitted anyways he's not going to be able to finish Benson Henderson.
Yeah.
Yeah, I read the article, too, where he said that, he won't get a fair judge's decision because of his reputation or something like that. But if he's already worried about that, then I think he's already
here he has in his mind,
yeah, he's already counted his losses already.
He doesn't have to worry about the judges. I don't think it's going to go there. Next week, we're actually going to film ourselves, a reaction of ourselves. As we're watching the main event, we'll show a little clip of that next week as well. Did you like to add anything, Alex?
No, just make sure you guys check in for next week. We'll have the full reaction and reviews of the UFC on Fox 5 card. I mean, should be a lot of stories told after that. So,
again, I'd like to thank our sponsor, True Athlete. You can check them out at trueathletes.com. I also like to thank our sound engineer. They call him Ollie the Trolley. And our producer, Guillermo Sida, and our executive producer, Anthony Sariana.
All right, thank you guys very much for listening again.
I'm a fool.